Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to do some strength training. I've got a bit of a shoulder niggle and I've got to make a few modifications because of my shoulder, but I'll talk you through it. One thing I want to say is the way that I program is a combination of strength and conditioning concepts. Like I use a combination of strength and conditioning concepts and principles to write the program, combined with gymnastics specific needs that is also influenced by what the girls like and what they want to do, and also how much time we have in the gym, and the fact that I have got a group of 8 teenage girls that also happen to be athletes. Primarily, it's got a lot to do with the girls and what they want to do and what they see as valuable. So yeah, let's get things started. I'm going to go. So number one is rope climbs. Like I said, got a sore shoulder. I can't do overhead action today. I think it'll feel better tomorrow if I take it easy. But if I push it, then it's going to feel a whole lot worse tomorrow. So we're going to do body row instead of rope climbs. Body row is like a chin up. And this was actually one of the exercises I did during shoulder rehab many years ago. But it is a really great hair stuck, really great back exercise, and it's a great pulling exercise, and it's good exercise for gymnasts in particular because we do a lot of pushing, we do a lot of rounding through our chest and our shoulders. It counteracts that, so it can help develop a stronger back, which really helps with presentation, but also overhead mobility and all of our handstand shapes and things like that, among other things. And it's often an oversight in gymnastic strength programs. So we have our body at horizontal and we're just pulling chest up to the bar. The good thing about this is you can regress it simply by having more weight on your feet and changing your body angle. I'm going to do 10 and I have already lost count. I feel like that's 5, maybe 6. And I'm thinking about pulling my shoulder blades together. I probably have a little bit too much extension through my spine because that's a habit that I have. I often lift my ribs up too high, which, if you speak to my physio, has got a lot to do with my shoulder issues. I think that was 10. All right, next up we have got step ups, which actually I'm going to do step downs. I got in trouble from Eve because I wrote it as step ups, and I told them I described step downs, and she was like, "That's a step down, Penny." And I was like, "I know it is, but if I write a step down, nobody's going to do it properly." We're going to do these on a green box, and if I do them well, then I will put a little topper on top, so it's a little bit higher. So the goal with step down is all of the weight in the supporting leg, and they're really great for ankle stability. You can see I've got my arms out in front, and what we don't want to see is lots of this, lots of wobbling. We want to see stability, and then very gently touching that foot at the bottom. A couple of months ago, I would not have been able to do this at all because I was getting pain in the front of my knee, and sometimes when I do them, I have pain in the front of my knee for like the first set, and then as my muscles warm up and activate, the pain goes away. So not a physio or a doctor, but that is my experience. So have to work out if the pain is because you've got a little bit of asymmetry and your muscles are waking up, or if the pain is a blocker and you need to listen to it and you need to stop because it's going to make things worse. And I have 25 years of doing sport and many years of pushing through pain when I should have stopped, versus now I have learnt my body better and I have learnt about injuries and rehab better so that I feel more capable of going, is that a pain where I listen to my body and I stop? Or is that a pain where we're getting warmed up and the pain will go away in a minute? I think I did 8 each leg. Next up, we have got push-ups. We've got push-ups, which is supposed to be 10 to 15 reps based on each individual's abilities. Now, as I mentioned, I have got a niggly shoulder. So one, taking my body weight through my hands, I think is going to not contribute to my shoulder feeling better. She just barked at some rubbish. Two, I can do a very similar action in dumbbell floor press where there are 2 or 3 positives. Okay, positive number 1, when you do a floor press, your elbows stop at floor level. So it means that I can't get my shoulders into that end range of motion that can be a bit of a weak area if you have a bit of a shoulder issue. That's 1. So my shoulders stop at the floor, right angles at elbows. Number 2, I can adjust the movement pathway of my shoulders. So I can have my elbows out wide. I can have my elbows in narrow. And so I can really adjust to suit a pathway that doesn't hurt. And then number 3, most obvious, you can adjust the resistance. So I weigh about 60 kilos. So when you're doing a push-up, I think the statistic is that you're going through your arms is about 75% of your body weight. I haven't looked at it for a long time, so I could be wrong. But for a 60 kilo person, that's a fair amount of weight going through your shoulders. So I've got 10 kilo dumbbells, and I really think that even though these might look big and chunky, they should be pretty manageable. My ponytail, however, is not manageable. There's also an additional bonus that I got, and that's when you are doing a push-up, your whole anterior and some parts of your posterior chain are engaged. And when that is the case, it is that little bit harder and that little bit more taxing on your whole body, which might mean that even more force is going through your shoulder, or it's more challenging for your shoulder. And you can see here, because I'm literally lying on my back, I have so much control through my arms, whereas we very rarely see push-ups move this smoothly and with this much control. These are a really good option if you also have a wrist injury and we can't bear weight through flexed wrists. So you can have the back of the wrist nice and flat, and you can keep loading up that movement pathway. Ball hammy curls. I love these. Doing 6 to 10 each leg is what I've got my gymnast doing. I started doing these when I had a hamstring strain. I can't remember if it was last year or the year before, but they are awesome because the hip is extended and the hamstring is obviously being lengthened during that hip extension, which is very, very good and good for gymnastics, because we are often, if you think about a split leg, we need to use an active hamstring and glute to pull that back leg up, and the hip is in extension, which can be both a strength and a flexibility challenge. So they are a very powerful, very impactful strength exercise for gymnasts. And as I said, I use them as part of my rehab when I had a hammy strain. Easy to modify, and you can feel them, the girls can feel them, but what you'll notice is a lot of my girls struggle. So when that, show them this side, but it's tired. Okay, so positioning helps, so you want to make sure that as the leg extends, the back of the leg or the calf goes onto the ball. When they pull in, you'll see their bum drop. And if you try this yourself, you'll feel the hamstring disengage, and you feel it more in your hip flexor and your quad. So when that leg is pulling in, we want to try to encourage keeping their hips up, and the larger size of the ball is a really good cue for them to show whether the hip is up or not. Next is supposed to be exercise ball stir the pot. So this is where you're on like a big blow up bouncy ball. Elbows are on in a front support position, feet are hip width apart. So you're basically here, but you're up on a ball, and then you're trying to make circles with your forearms, basically without falling over. This is supposed to be a stir the pot, but we're just going to see if I can hold front support. I'm going to go for 30 seconds. So this is one of those ones that it's very easy, not to cheat necessarily, but to like cut corners. But we want to look at having elbows directly under shoulders. If you're doing the hold, you want to have ribs tucked, hips flat, knees straight. Whenever I do core work, I vibrate. So it's obviously working. We want to have a pushed up, tall support, not a sunken elbows towards ribs position. I feel like that's the main thing you're going to see. And then obviously we want to see glutes turned on and legs tight. I feel like that was 30 seconds. I don't know. But it felt hard enough. Banded clams. These are not my favorite exercise for that outside of the glute, but they are ones that I know I can get my girls to do, and I don't feel like I have to be nitpicking about their technique. So they can lie down and they can chat while they do it, even though that's not ideal, but I am in the business of done is better than not done. So they do 20 each leg. My main cue is keep your hand on your hip, and if your hand is moving, then your hip is moving. So we're trying to extend that band as much as possible without letting that hip drop back, because then no longer is the glute creating that action. The action is just coming from changing the orientation of your hip. And I feel like with this band, I probably would be better with a heavier band, because I'm only feeling that resistance right at the top. As usual, I haven't counted, so we're just going to go by feel. I reckon I'm at about 15. Can just lie down flat. I might do that on the other side. I reckon that's about 20. We'll probably fast forward the other side. So your hand, oh wow, this side is significantly weaker. Good to know. Hand on the hip, move. Oh my God, the knees, not the hip. Wow, I didn't realize, look how bad that is. Okay. Oh dear. I don't even know if I can get to 20. That's crazy. Okay, we're picking up deficits. Oh my God. I don't know what I'm up to. I'm gonna do 2 more. I reckon that's 17. Dude, that was really hard. There you go. Humbled by my gymnastics program. Okay, next up is medicine ball Deadbugs. These are one of my starting points, Deadbugs in general, for core strength, especially for those gymnasts that get a sore back and really struggle to have that rounded, hollow position. If they have like the struggle to round their chest and they have like a little bit of rib pop, this is not necessarily this version. We just start with just arms here and they do legs, and then we add in arms and then they're good, we add some resistance. Doing any of these with kids can be challenging because obviously if you're not following the cues and doing them correctly, they're going to be less effective. Like, it's quite easy to make this not feel challenging just by disengaging, lifting the ribs, not keeping that pressure on the floor through your whole back, and like having, like, my pet hate is dead bugs with your feet here. You'll feel it if you try it. Dead bugs with your feet on your heels on your bum, you'll feel the difference in engagement in your core. Anyways, so tabletop shins, thighs coming back to that vertical line. That's another like really common mistake, is the leg extends and then the leg that is not being extended moves. Once again, we're keeping this leg stable, doesn't move. And the other thing is, if they do have issues with ribs lifting and flaring, we only let the arms go to the position where they can keep that firm contact with the floor and the ribs aren't flaring. So one of my gymnasts, her arms only go to there because she can't keep her ribs from flaring. So that was supposed to be 10 each leg, but I don't know how many I did. That's everything. So I've done one round. I'm not going to film rounds 2 and round 3, but that is one of my squad's 4 strength programs. If I get my act together, I'll try to film day Wednesday, Friday, and their Saturday power and prehab program. But yeah, that's their Monday gymnastics strength. Yeah, as always, thank you for tuning in. Like, comment, subscribe. I would obviously like to know if you want to give this workout a go. Let me know how it goes. And yeah, I'll see you in the next video.